Hello and welcome, I'm Patrick, and this is Flight Quick Tips number 6, the illusion of speed. Now what I want to show you in this video is that from a pilot's perspective, it's often that you can think you're flying slower than you really are. So you end up trying to fly faster and faster without realizing you may have been flying at a more than acceptable speed the entire time. Now when you're flying in such a fast mover like a helicopter, it's not surprising that you sometimes forget that you're covering distances in seconds. That takes infantry minutes if not longer in comparison. And it's often that people focus way too much on trying to do things faster and faster in practice. A good example of this is urban insertions. People think that a skillfully done urban insertion is by doing it as fast as possible. And I'm instead going to try to show you that you should probably focus a little less on speed and more about getting things done in a graceful manner. Now to help get the idea across to you that speed is not as important as you might think, I'm going to show you a clip of me going in for an urban extraction at half the speed I normally would. And then I'm going to show you the exact same landing from the ground troops perspective using a unit capture script. Keep in mind that I'm going to be flying way slower than I'd ever be doing in an operation. But you actually might be surprised how it turns out. Like I said, I was flying way slower than I'd ever be doing in an operation. However, if you were one of the ground troops, you probably wouldn't have noticed anything. In fact, if you've been following my Flight Quick Tips series before this video, you can actually test to see if you wouldn't have noticed anything, because this clip I'm showing you right now was me in Flight Quick Tips number 5. That's right, it's the exact same thing I just showed you. So as you can see from the ground troops perspective, it was an acceptable landing. Now where this becomes useful to us is that from my perspective, I was flying into this at half the speed I would normally do this. But by only going half the speed, I had double the time to see what I was doing, make sure there wasn't any trees or buildings under me, make sure my tail is clear, and so on. It gave me so much time to think about what I was doing and made sure everything went smoothly through the landing. Now with this in mind, if you've had particular trouble with roof landings, urban insertion, what I want you to do is instead of trying to speed yourself up, I actually want you to do the opposite. Instead of chopping off half the time like I did, I want you to maybe take off 1/4 the speed in the last, or the most critical part, so the last maybe 10 to 20 seconds. The speed difference will be unnoticeable to anyone else, but you'll be surprised how much that time gives you to concentrate and think and make sure everything goes right in the landing. That'll be the end of this Flight Quick Tips. Feel free to check out my other videos in the meantime, but until the next one, I'm Patrick, and welcome to the war.